enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. It's part 7 of the classic mini radius arm replacement. So this week we are just cleaning up the boot floor now. Like I say, all the welding's done now, all the cutting and grinding, all the nasty bits, and it's that point where it's really nice and we start putting it back together, start making it look good again. I can't personally wait until I can get it back on all 4 wheels, push it outside and just give it a clean out the workshop thoroughly. But yeah, so today we're just going to clean up the boot floor, get all the old rust off, find the areas where the sealant's failed, and we're going to re-seam seal the whole lot, ready for a fresh coat of paint. So I do apologise for the continuity, because we're going to go straight into me standing in front of the camera again, and that's just because I can't keep up with what's going on with kit, what's going on with PL, and I lose bits of footage. So I forgot to do an intro last time round, so I'm doing the intro now, so it kind of tags onto that bit. But as always, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't bother. Yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and look forward to catching you next time. Cheers guys, thank you. Underneath there's loads of undersealer that's been sprayed on, and it's like that old, it's like the black, really thick, it's like tar underseal. It's flipping horrible. Trying to get it off is a nightmare. It's soft and it's damp, so you can't kind of rub it off. I've tried some brake cleaner, that works reasonably well. What I do know works really well, because I've seen it on cars with fuel leaks, is petrol. It melts the stuff quite nicely, so gone and got myself a can of petrol, put it in a solvent sprayer. Obviously got to be really careful, because we're going to be spraying petrol around, there's going to be fumes and that sort of thing. Thanks to all the new subscribers, there's been quite a few recently. We're not far off 2,000 now, and I need to pull my finger out. There'll be a big giveaway at 2,000. Need to work out what we're going to do. If you're not subscribed and you're watching this, please hit the subscribe button. I have lots of mini content, some interesting stuff. Go and check out the kit build. If you get 5 minutes, there's lots of videos over there. And yeah, if you are subscribed, thanks for subscribing. Cheers guys, have a great week. So this is my issue guys, it's this black stuff here. It's really thick, it's like old underseal. They've splattered it along all the way along the back here, so it's had a repair on this rear panel in the past, and they've just covered it in underseal. But it's really difficult to get off. So we're using low voltage lighting. I've got my goggles on. As you can see, that melts it pretty much instantly, so we'll just get some on there, let it soak in, and then wipe it off. I know petrol works really well, because I've been out, I've seen plenty of cars with fuel leaks, and where the fuel drips, it does a great job of taking off the underseal. But like I say, you've got to be pretty careful, because it's obviously highly flammable. As you can see, that's making light work of that. We'll end up going through quite a few rags, I think. All this under here is going to get painted body colour, which is probably a little bit better than original factory, but it'll help protect it as well. just as an added precaution as well. It's during the day, so I've got the garage open just so we're well ventilated in here. Right guys, I think I'm going to turn the camera off there, carry on. I don't want to be getting petrol on the lens and melting the lens of my camera or anything like that. But you get the idea, it works pretty well. You've just got to be really careful. We're spraying petrol vapour around, so yeah. Right guys, so fast forward a bit. As suspected, that done an absolutely great job actually. It's cleaned it up really nicely. I'll show you in a moment. I think the miss is going to be a bit peed off with a toothbrush, but she won't notice. I'll clean that up with a bit of brake cleaner. Who will know, hey? Right, let's have a look. So there we go. As you can see, it's taken off any of that black sort of oil-based underseal. So we're just back down to the paint now. So that's much better to work with. I just want to show you something quickly as well. So there are some areas which just need wire wheeling a bit. I think I'll wire wheel that, any loose bits, wire wheel it, cure rust it, prime it, and then that'll get re-seam sealed. Got that subframe mount there, it's solid. But what I was really surprised about, so this section here, where this looks different, this surface rust on this bit of metal here, is a repair section in the boot. Goes all the way along the back of the boot, but as you notice, there is no paint on it. What's unbelievable is I've got the invoice with all my bits for the car. The previous owner paid something like £2,500 to have the repairs done on the boot floor on this. It was boot floor and the rear quarter panels were painted. They paid £2,500 for that, and they couldn't even be bothered to put a bit of, there's not even primer on it, it's just bare metal. So that's bare metal, and then they just painted underseal over it. It's disgraceful, isn't it? So we've had a bit of a sort out this morning. I say this morning, I come out here at about 11 o'clock intending to do some work on PL. I've got carried away, tidying the place up, sorting stuff out, putting everything in a more logical order after having moved in, and it's now about 3:30 and I haven't done anything. In fact, to tell a lie, actually, I have primered where I rubbed it back to bare metal and put cure rust on it, so that's drying at the moment. So yeah, I've done that, and then I got into sorting the place out, and we've created another workbench, kind of a new work area, which is over here in the corner. I decided, well, I had that spare cupboard, I thought I'd put a bench on top of it and fix it to the wall, just for somewhere to put, you know, old parts or parts waiting to have something done with them, because otherwise what I end up doing is just filling the bench up with old parts, and when you're working on the bench, screws get lost, nuts gets knocked around all over the place. So yeah, so that should work quite nicely, and give me a bit more storage. So if you'd have noticed, actually 3 radius arms on the bench here. These 2 are from PL. This one's a radius arm for project kit. The other side, the pin was completely and utterly knackered. It had worn into the radius arm housing, the actual casting itself. So This one, I bought a reamer kit. I'll show that in another video. It's supported at this end, so the reamer goes through nice and straight. It's not that difficult to use, but it's a little bit tricky. Biggest problem is the inside of the radius arm's just full of grease. So you need to clean that all out first. So I've done that with that one. Horrible, messy job. I've still got to do these too. So we'll do that another day. I might do a video specifically for reaming out the radius arms because there doesn't seem to be one on YouTube at the moment. So next job on PL is to seam seal. So I've got Mark's very, very nice, very expensive seam sealing gun here, and we're going to get on and do that. But first, I think I probably need to practice with it a bit. Right guys, let's have a little practice then. So there's two adjusters on here. It uses it's like an air-powered caulking gun, although it sprays out air at the same time as pressurising the canister. So you've got two adjustments on the bottom of here. One is for the airflow. So the nozzle's like split into two. Right out the middle comes the sealant, the seam sealant, and then outside, out the outer edge, it blows air to blow it onto the panel. So we've got air pressure adjustment and the pressure on the cylinder inside. So we're going to start with relatively low air pressure, and then we'll ramp up the pressure to get the flow rate right and just fiddle it around with it a bit. And we're going to practice on this bit of wood here. Well, it seems simple enough. I've got that's not a bad bead actually. You get to a point where if you do it, if you have too less air pressure, it doesn't come out right, and if you have too much, it just sprays everywhere. Looks like it can be quite messy, but it's relatively controlled, so let's get it on the car. I think we'll put a mat or something underneath the car as well, because this stuff does look very messy. I should have masked up that hole first, shouldn't I? Gotta say though, it does give a really nice factory looking finish. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I bet Mark's laughing at me now. Obviously he done the same a couple of weeks ago on kit. I think we'll just, there's another weld line there. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but you get the idea. Pretty pleased with it though. It definitely has the advantage that because it blows it in, you're able to really sort of force it into the gaps. So if there's any sort of panel joins, you're really able to blow it in the direction so it's going to get in the gaps like I'm going to now, which is probably going to get all over the camera. Maybe not. A little bit too much on there. This bit along the outside is going to be a bit tricky, so I think I will just make sure I get the setting right first before we start doing that. I was going to mask that up, but I want to keep it the same as the finish that's on there beforehand. Right guys, I think you get the idea, so bring you in for a close-up and then I think I'll get on with the rest off camera because it's yeah, really conscious of spraying over the camera. Bit of a messy job, but it gives the finish I want, which should match what it's already like. So there we go, as you can see it's looking pretty good. Few runny bits here and there, but the outside, this looks like the rest of that, so hopefully that's going to blend in nicely. Cool. Right guys, so that's done now, both sides and at the back. I'm really pleased. That's gone really nicely. It is very messy, got to practice a bit first, but it does give a very nice finish. And what is really useful for is, like up at the back here under that rear valance, you would never, certainly up where it goes behind the spare wheel, you would never get seam sealer up there, but using that gun, it allows you just to blow it into the nooks and crannies, so you don't miss any bits. I've had that on there for about 15 minutes now and it's starting to go off already, so it's quite handy because if there's any little runs or bits you just want to wipe clear, you can just go around it again quickly. And in fact, no, it's still tacky there. There's some bits which are starting to harden already, so it's quite fast setting as well.